SSHS Route 38 in Sulphur Springs, Texas, your official Wildcat and Lady Cat station. It's time for Wildcat basketball. Let's go to the high school gym where tonight's game is called by KSSD Sports Director Don Gilliam. Don?
Well, James Terry, thank you very much and welcome everyone into a rapidly filling main gym on the campus of Sulphur Springs High School. And basically, for rivalries that go way back for Sulphur Springs, there were two significant rivals. One is Mount Pleasant, but they're not here tonight. But the next best thing is the Paris Wildcats. And it's a rivalry that, like I say, goes way back. And it'll be renewed tonight with two what appear to be very good basketball teams, Paris and Sulphur Springs. Paris is 4-0 for the young season. They've taken care of all of their games. And they are ranked number 17 in Class 4A in the latest ranking in the rankings we always use, the Texas Association of Basketball Coaches poll. Wildcats are 3-1 on the season. They suffered their first loss on Saturday, and they had to find a team outside of the state of Texas to pin that first loss on the Wildcats. They lost to Port Allen, Louisiana, and that was at that very fine Duncanville Hoop Fest showcase. It was an early 9 o'clock in the morning game on Saturday, and Port Allen won that one 60-50. Wildcats they dropped down one spot in the rankings. They were 4 and they moved down to number 5, so they're still tracking very well in that TABC poll. And these two teams, Coach Clark Cipolletta was saying, may have heard it on our news earlier today, that this is a game that always seems to be close. It doesn't matter if which team, whether they're up and we're down or we're up and they're down, the game's going to be close. And he said it appears that both of these teams are up this year. So forecasting up this year by Coach Clark Cipolletta for both of these teams, and that should make for a fine game. As we're just about ready to get started here, and Tori Hankins has the microphone, and we're getting ready. We'll start with the national anthem here courtside. Now we should get starting lineups for both teams. Once again, Hankins over there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sulphur Springs Gymnasium for tonight's matchup between the Paris and Sulphur Springs WildCat! And now for the starting lineups. First, our visitors from Paris. At guard, 6'5" sophomore, number 0, Jalen Lee. At guard, 6'2" senior, number 1, Trey Johnson. At guard, 5'11" senior, number 2, Jamie Mitchell. At guard, 6'3" senior, number 11, Gavin Colgy. And at forward, 6'4" senior, number 23, Trayvon Dennis. The Wildcats are coached by Billy Maxine, assisted by Roy Stone, Michael Johnson, and Roger Mitchell. And now, let's go on for your Sulphur Springs Wildcats! Starting at guard, 6'2" junior, number 2, Lamadrid Johnson! At guard, 6'2" senior, number 22, Justin Brown! At guard, 6'1" junior, number 3, Boone! And at forward, 6'6" senior, number 4, Cameron Kahn! Rounding out the lineup tonight, number 0465 senior, Dan The Wildcats are coached by Pete Clark Silverletta, assisted by Sean Coyne, Joe Garcia, and Austin Fleming.
All right. Well, if we got all those coaches in there for Paris, Billy McSteed, I think about his 13th year. I think he started in the 7-8 season, 07-08 in Paris, and still there, assisted by Roy Tom Stone, Michael Johnson, and Roderick Mitchell. Of course, Wildcats coach Clark Cipolletta assisted Sean Coleman, Joe Garcia, and Austin Fleming. The Wildcats will be traveling, for the radio audience, left to right here in the first quarter. And Day Hall will be jumping center with Trayvon Dennis, 6'4" senior. Day is at 6'5". The ball is tipped and controlled by Paris, and so here comes Paris. Across the midline, Mitchell with the dribble out front. Bounces free throw line over in the right corner. It goes to Lee, into the lane and back to the outside to Mitchell. Down low again. Shot put up by Paris, comes up short by Johnson. And Cameron Kahn down the court quickly for the Wildcats. Into the corner, Lou Wilkerson back to Kahn. He'll shoot a three. That's off, no good. And the rebound to Paris came down to Lee. Long pass, here's a three by Paris, and it's good. Made by Jamion Mitchell. And Paris leads 3-0. 7:15 left here in the first quarter. Lamadrid Johnson across the midline for the Wildcats. He will hand off to Brock. Back to Cameron Kahn. Back to Brock. Day pass underneath. Missed a layup by Boo Wilkerson. And Paris gets the rebound. And once again, Mitchell has it for the Wildcats of Paris. Down low, shot put up and in off the glass by Jalen Lee, and Paris leads 5-0. You know, a slow start was critical in that loss to Port Allen as the Wildcats fell behind 23-10 after the first quarter. Lamadrid Johnson drives in, pitches over to Boo Wilkerson. He tried to throw back to Lamadrid. It's stolen by Paris, driving in, and the layup is good. And a layup is good by Mitchell, who has 5 points, in Paris with a 7-0 lead. Timeout Wildcats. 6:26 left here in the first quarter. We'll take the break here, and we'll be back in a moment. Well, Paris has leaped out to a 7-0 lead. Jamion Mitchell has a 3 and a 2 for 5 points, and Jalen Lee 2 for Paris' 7. Here come the Wildcats now, and when we say Wildcats tonight, it'll always be Sulphur Springs. Johnson over to Boo Wilkerson. Right corner it goes. Brock a 3. Good by Justin Brock. And the Wildcats are on the board trailing 7-3. Just over 6 to play first quarter. Ball in the hands of Mitchell. a 6-foot senior. A lot of seniors on this Paris starting lineup. Holgi with the ball. Here's a three by Paris. Good again by Jalen Lee. So a pair of players with 5 points, and Paris leads 10-3. 5:47 left here in the first quarter. Day Hall, top of the key. Left side it goes. LaModrick Johnson slashing in. The ball down on the floor, and Johnson came up with it over to Boo Wilkerson in the corner, and Boo gets it out to LaModrick. He drives in. The floater on the way. Came up short and will go out of bounds. Ball to Paris. 5:29 left in the first quarter. Paris 10 and the Wildcats 3. And Paris taking their time going across the midline against no pressure. And Jamion Mitchell with the ball for Paris at the point. Gets it over to Trey Johnson. Johnson drives in, dishes. Here's a three on the way. It's off, no good. Rebounded Day Hall. That shot was taken by Dennis. And here come the Wildcats trailing 10-3. Just over 5 to play first quarter. Day Hall drives in over to Brock. He'll shoot a long ranger. It's off, no good. Rebound comes down. Cameron Kahn slashes in, put up the shot and hit it. And a foul is called on Paris. Let's see if we can catch the number here. It's a single digit. Looks like a 1. I'm going to say Trey Johnson. With those red highlights in his hair makes him a little easier to spot. So Kahn trying for the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Chop the lead to 10-6 here. Kahn's free throw, good, swish. It's 10-6, Paris leads, 4:50 left here in the first quarter. Ball in the hands of Jamion Mitchell for the Paris Wildcats. 2 guarding 2 over there. Mitchell gets it over to Holgi and back to Mitchell. Mitchell into the corner. Dennis down low it goes. Here's a shot put up too hard. Rebound Cameron Kahn. Wildcats run long pass to Day Hall, and then it was knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. It'll go back to the Wildcats underneath their own basket. 4:25 left in the first quarter. Paris 10 and the Wildcats 6. LaModrick Johnson into Day Hall. Hall spins, left-handed shot off, no good. He kept the ball alive, but it ended up in the hands of Paris, and here they come across the midline in the hands of Johnson. Johnson slashing in, and the ball knocked out of bounds, and they're going to call a foul down on the floor, and it's going to be on Justin Brock. That'll be his first. Each team with 1. And new player checking in for Paris now. This is Bubba Gray replacing Trey Johnson, who got the 1 foul for Paris. Gray's inbound pass to Dennis. Tried to get it into the lane. The Wildcats knocked it out of bounds. It'll go back to Paris. 4:09 left here in the first quarter. Paris 10, the Wildcats 6. From the main gym on the campus, Sulphur Springs High School. Bubba Gray triggers into Holgi. He passes back outside now to Mitchell. Here's Dennis with a long range. 3 is good by Trayvon Dennis. He has 3 points, and Paris leads 13-6. 3:52 left here in the first quarter. LaModrick Johnson from the point for the Wildcats. Outside the arc. Gets it over to Brock, top of the key. Floater toward Cameron Kahn. It was broken up and stolen by Paris. And here comes Mitchell. Over to Dennis. He'll launch a long 3. That's off the iron, no good. And the ball comes out to LaModrick Johnson. He heads across the midline in a hurry. Over to Boo Wilkerson. Down low, Day Hall. Day slashes and laid it up and in. Used the basket as a guard against players, and Day with 2. And the Wildcats trail 13-8. 3:15 left here in the first quarter. As Justin Hare and Grayson McClure get ready to check in for the Wildcats. Dennis inside, shot toward the basket, missed, no good. Rebound to LaModrick Johnson. Johnson in a big hurry. He puts the ball in. The floater is good as he faked the pass and shot. And the Wildcats are down by 3, 13-10, 2:50 left here in the first quarter. Mitchell with the ball outside for Paris. Gives it over to Lee and back to Mitchell. Mitchell looking inside, fires it down low to Dennis outside Holgi. Holgi back over to Dennis. He'll launch the 3. It's off, no good. And we're going to have a rebounding foul. And looks like it's on Brock again. And that's his second. And so Brock and Cameron Kahn check out. And again, Justin Hare in there along with Grayson McClure. Ball back to Paris underneath their own basket. They lead 13-10, 2:32 left here in the first quarter. Ball comes in. Bubba Gray will shoot the three. That's off, no good. And a good rebound, Boo Wilkerson. Boo slashes down the court. And now Boo slows things down and gives it off to LaModrick Johnson. And Johnson driving around the arc. Back to Day Hall, top of the key. Gives it over to Grayson McClure. Thought about the three. Did not shoot it. Gets it over to Boo Wilkerson. Knocked away, but a foul call down on the floor. And the foul is going to be on Bubba Gray. That's his first. Each team has 2 fouls. Grayson McClure triggers in to LaModrick Johnson. Wildcats trailing 13-10, just over 2 to play in the first quarter. And there's a turnover on the Wildcats as a bad pass toward Grayson McClure took him out of bounds to catch it. So back to Paris on the turnover. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. It's Paris 13, the Wildcats 10. The Paris Wildcats have led throughout this first quarter. Bubba Gray into Dennis. And a traveling violation. Boy, they're lucky they didn't get him for a player control foul on a charge. But they ruled that he traveled. So a turnover on Paris. And again, Paris leads 13-10, 1:45 left here in the first quarter. LaModrick Johnson, top of the key. Dribbling outside, setting the offense. Will hand off to Day Hall, top of the key. And Day begins a dribble, now stops, gets it over to LaModrick Johnson. Johnson over in the corner. Boo Wilkerson, a long shot, off, no good. And the rebound to Paris, Bubba Gray, and he flashes down the court for Paris. And here's driving to the basket off to Dennis, and the shot blocked, but a foul is called. And the foul is going to be on LaModrick Johnson, I believe. Boy, the Wildcats guards are picking up fouls. And free throws coming now for Trayvon Dennis, a 6'4" senior. Free throw, the first one is good. Dennis with 4 points. Mitchell has 5, Lee has 5. It's been all the scoring for Paris, 3 players. And they're up 14-10. Another free throw coming for Dennis. Free throw on the way, misses, no good. Rebound comes down to Day Hall. Wildcats trail 14-10, 1:11 left here in the first quarter. Boo Wilkerson outside the arc. Passes, tried to get it inside, and then the ball was lost out of bounds off the Wildcats as they tried to get it back after Paris looked like they were going to get a steal. And checking in for Paris now is Jamion Mitchell, and he will replace Bubba Gray. And also coming out was Braylon Mickens had been in there. And this looks kind of like the starting lineup right now. Ball in the hands of Mitchell, guarded by Grayson McClure. Bounces to Dennis. Tried to get it inside. It was tipped, but it was caught. The shot turnaround and off, no good, but a good offensive rebound. Miss on the offensive boards. Another Paris follow, also misses, and LaModrick Johnson gets the rebound, and he flashes down the court. LaModrick tried to go inside, stripped away by Paris. They've got a fast break. Dennis stuffs it on the other end for Paris, and he now has 6 points, and Paris leads 16-10 with 22 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Day Hall over to Justin Hare. Hare right side over to Day, slashing in toward the basket. Missed the shot, just missed the banker, but did pick up a foul. And 0 fouling 0. That foul was on Jalen Lee. Fouling the 0 for the Wildcats, Day Hall. Sadadrian Day Hall. He'll have a couple. The first one's on the way. Good. Day with 3 points. There's 10.6 still left in the first quarter as Day tries to trim the lead to 4. It's 16-11 right now. Hall with those bright red shoes. Free throw good, got them both. Hall with 4 points. Paris leading 16-12, and they've got 8 seconds to try to add to it. And here's Johnson over to Holge. He'll launch a long three. It's off. Dennis tried to tip it, but could not, so the shot misses, and we're at the end of the first quarter. And Paris, who led throughout the quarter, takes a 16-12 lead into the second quarter. So we played one. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back with the start of the second quarter right after this break. Wildcats have the ball to start the second quarter. Paris leads 16-12 after one quarter, and Cameron Kahn will pass the ball in to Lamadrick Johnson, who brings it across the midline for the Wildcats, trailing by 4. Gives it over to Day Hall outside the arc. Cameron Kahn thought about the long shot. Back to Day Hall. Hall slashes toward the basket, spins, put it up, missed it, but Cameron Kahn got the rebound. The follow shot is good. Good job of crashing the boards by Cameron Kahn. He's got 5. Paris down quickly, and now they work the ball into the lane. Down low to Dennis. Tried for the stuff, but he was a little far from the basket. He had a player in between, and the Wildcats get the rebound. Boo Wilkerson, the 3. It's off, no good. Cameron Kahn, the follow shot is good. 2 offensive rebounds and follow shots by Cameron Kahn, and the Wildcats have tied it up at 16. Johnson down low to Dennis. Dennis being guarded Day Hall. Back outside, Johnson tries to get it outside. Tipped by Boo Wilkerson, but it's over to Mitchell. Mitchell a long 3. Good! Second 3 of the ball game by Jamion Mitchell. And he has 8 points. Or Jamon Mitchell, excuse me. 19-16, Paris leads. 6:47 left in the second quarter. McClure has it in the corner. Back outside, Day Hall. Hall dribbling and trying to back in toward the basket. He stuffed the ball. And Day Hall with 6 points. Wildcats leading, or trailing, 19-18. Paris drives to the baseline. Over to Dennis. He funnels it into the lane. Back outside to Holge. Holge driving inside. Almost tipped away. Comes over to Dennis. He launches the 3. Good! Paris nailing the 3s. For Trayvon Dennis with 9 points. Here's a 3 by Grayson McClure on the other end. Is good. And the Wildcats trail 22-21 with just under 6 to play here in the second quarter. Ball in the hands of Mitchell. Jamon Mitchell. Bounces into the lane. The shot laid up and hit by Trey Johnson, his first basket. And Paris up by 3, 24-21, with 5:39 left in the second quarter. Lamadrick Johnson across the midline. Johnson, left side it goes. Grayson McClure passes into Day Hall. Hall back to Grayson, a 10-footer on the way. Misses. Rebound to Dennis. His outlet pass comes down the court to Mitchell. He'll launch a 3. Good again. He's got 3 threes in the game, 11 points. And Paris is up by 5, 26-21. Paris has been hot. They've had 6 threes in the early going here in a quarter and 3 minutes. Lamadrick Johnson, cross court, Cameron Kahn. Kahn to Grayson McClure. McClure to Day Hall, top of the key. Day slashes toward the lane, backs out. Right side it goes, Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson slashing in. Over in the corner, Boo Wilkerson, long shot. Off, no good. Rebound, Day Hall. He was follow shot, no good, but he was fouled by Holge. Gavin Holge, 6'3" senior. Told you they were senior laden on these starters. They've got a sophomore Lee, senior Johnson, senior Mitchell, senior Holge, and senior Dennis. 4 seniors and a sophomore for Paris. Day Hall free throw is off the front iron, no good. Hall with 6 points. The Wildcats are trailing by 6. A couple of new Paris well, we've seen Bubba Gray, he comes back, and a new player for Paris now, Troy Jones, a 6'3" junior for the Paris Wildcats. Day Hall with another free throw for the Sulphur Springs Wildcats. Day free throw good. He's got 7. The Wildcats trail 27-22. Justin Hare returns to replace Day-Day Hall. And Johnson to throw in for the Wildcats. Got it into Gray and back to Johnson. And now Johnson at the point for Paris. They're up by 5 with 4:33 left here in the second quarter. And they've led throughout this game. Wildcats tied it at one point. Ball comes over to Mitchell. Mitchell's been red hot from 3. He'll launch another long ranger. It's off, no good, but rebound Paris. And they got it back to Johnson and then back outside to Mitchell. Jamon Mitchell. Now it's in the hands of Jones. Gray drives in. Oh, a lot of contact. The shot was missed. And nobody draws the foul better than Cameron Kahn, but he did not get the call that time. And 2 foul shots coming for Bubba Gray. Cameron's had a hard time getting that charge this year. The officials have not treated him kindly on those 50-50 calls, which no matter which way you call a block or a charge, you're going to have half the gym mad at you. And tonight, the bigger half is mad right now. The Sulphur Springs half, which is more than half. Paris always travels well. They've got a good crowd here. And we appreciate Coach Billy McSteed allowing the live video stream tonight and as well as posting to YouTube after this game is over. Allowing the good folks in Paris, if they would like, to tune in to the game and watch it. Free throws coming for Bubba Gray. And the first one's on the way and good. Gray's first point. Paris lead at 6 at 28-22. Day-Day Hall returns and Cameron Kahn will have a seat. Another free throw for Bubba Gray, 5'11" junior. Free throw on the way, comes up short, no good, but Paris a rebound. Comes down to Jones. And they work it back outside to Trey Johnson. And Johnson, left side it goes. Here's a long 3. It's off, no good, but a Paris rebound. And they, nice play, but the layup was missed as they threw to a player heading to the basket, but he missed the shot and knocked out of bounds by Paris. Back to the Wildcats. It's a missed shot there. I believe that was Trey Johnson. Back in the hands of the Wildcats. They trail 28-22. 3:42 left here in the second quarter. Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson right side. Grayson McClure down low. Day-Day Hall. Hall heading toward the basket. Stops outside. Here's Justin Hare, a 3. That's off the iron. Ball tipped way outside, but too far into the Paris bench. And it'll go to Paris. So Mitchell will throw in. And triggers into Johnson. So Trey Johnson has 2 points in the ball game. Left side it goes. Here's Lee driving in. The layup is good. Jalen Lee has 7 points. And Paris leads by 8, 30-22. Just over 3 to play here in the second quarter. Day-Day Hall. Right side it goes. Boo Wilkerson. Boo over to Day-Day again. And round to, here's Grayson McClure. The 3 is good. He's 2 for 2. He hesitated to shoot, but they left him so open. And he cuts the lead to 5. Paris slashing into the lane, loses the ball. Wilkerson comes down with it, gets it into Lamadrick Johnson. His flying layup is good. Lamadrick with 4 points, and the Wildcats trim the lead just like that for 3 points. 30-27. 2:25 left in the second quarter. Lee gets it back outside to Dennis. He hit the iron. He got the rebound. Follow shot is good by Trayvon Dennis, who's got 11 points for Paris. And they lead by 5, 32-27. They've done a good job of hitting those boards on several occasions. Lamadrick Johnson outside. Left side, Grayson McClure. Inside it goes, Day-Day Hall. Hall spinning toward the basket. Puts up the shot. Missed. Got his own rebound. He spins again and got fouled there by Trayvon Dennis. That'll be his first that I show. That's the 5th foul on Paris. And the Wildcats have 4. And Day Hall will shoot a pair. He's got 7 in the game. He is 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. Free throw on the way. Good by Day. A commit from Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. And yes, that's not a conflicted signing person. That's one college in Indiana, in Indianapolis actually. Home of the 500. I sure did enjoy that, seeing that. Not this year, but last year. Another free throw coming, Day Hall. This one's on the way. Got them both. Day with 9 points. And again, the lead 3 points for Paris. 1:48 left here in the second quarter. And here's Johnson down low. Boy, a big time bump. And once again, boy, a Wildcat player, Cameron Kahn, once again is going to pick up a foul on a huge collision. No, this is going to go the other way. This is going to go against Paris. I thought I did not see a definitive charge on the Paris player, and so I assume they had given it to Cameron Kahn. And here come the Wildcats trailing by 3, 32-29. 1:36 left in the second quarter. Lamadrick Johnson dribbling the ball outside for the Wildcats. Lamadrick into the corner. Cameron Kahn thought about that 3 from out there. Got it to Day Hall. Slashes to the bucket. Lost the ball, and then Lamadrick Johnson throws it in. Here's 3 by Cameron McClure. No good. Boo Wilkerson, the rebound, misses the shot. Lamadrick Johnson heads inside. The ball stripped loose. Picked up by Cameron Kahn. He puts up the shot. Players falling everywhere, and Kahn got the bucket. Wildcats down by 1, 32-31 with 1 minute left here in the second quarter. Very excitable Jermon Bryant Amos, the former punter for the Wildcats football team, also a former basketball player, very excited down below us. He keeps standing up, and he's about 6'6". Here's a 10-footer on the way, misses, no good. Good rebound, Day Hall. Wildcats with the ball trailing 32-31 with 35 seconds left here in the first half. Ball in the hands, Cameron Kahn with less than 30 to play. Cameron slashes to the bucket. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Paris. They've got a fast break. Trey Johnson drives in and hit the bucket on the layup. He's got 4 points, and Paris back up by 3 with just 16 seconds left here in the second quarter. Lamadrick Johnson across the midline with 10 to go. Lamadrick being dogged very closely, driving in. The ball stripped loose by Paris. They've got 2 seconds. A long 3 off the glass, no good. Holge shot about a 35-footer as he could feel that clock on his back and launched, but missed the shot. But Paris will take a 3-point lead into the first half at 34-31. So in that second quarter, Paris, after a 16-point first quarter, had 18 in the second quarter. The Wildcats, after 12 in the first quarter, had 19 in the second quarter. So Paris 34 and the Wildcats 31 as we played half of this game here at the main gym on the campus of Sulphur Springs High School. Well, let's take a break. We'll add up all the scoring for you. We'll tell you who scored what in that first half. And I'm telling you here, there were a lot of threes, especially out of Paris. So let's take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment. The officials are back out on the court. We still have about 40 seconds of time that the coaches can go over some things. Wildcats break out of the huddle. Coach Steed still talking to his bunch over there in the bench area. Talking to his assistant. Boy, he's been with him quite a while, I think, maybe since like 08 or something. Roy Tom Stone. I think he has coached in any school that's been located in the city of Paris and a lot of other places. 49 years in coaching for Roy Tom. I remember him as the coach at North Lamar for the girls team. when I first got to town here in 06. Here comes the Paris Wildcats as we start the second half. The ball in the hands of Mitchell. And outside and into the corner. Here's a three on the way. In and out, no good, but a Paris follow shot is good. Good offensive rebounding there by Trayvon Dennis, who now has 13. And Paris is back up by 5, 36-31. Dennis, a very tall player at 6'4", looks taller than that, but he's doing a great job on the offensive glass. Brock with the ball, throws it inside. It's kicked down to the floor, but picked up Cameron Kahn. Over to LaModrick Johnson. He'll shoot the three. That's off, no good. And the rebound comes down to Paris, chases it down. This is Mitchell. Mitchell across the midline. He'll shoot the three. It's off, no good. But once again, Dennis with a rebound. But he threw it right. No, that wasn't Dennis. That was Lee. But he threw it right to Day-Day Hall. Hall with the ball. Spinning into the lane. Scooped it up and hit the layup. Wow, what a move by Day-Day Hall, who now has 11. And the Wildcats are down 36-33. Just under 7 to play here in the third quarter. Ball in the hands of Trey Johnson. And he works it over to Jamon Mitchell, working against LaModrick Johnson. Ball down low to Holge. Left-handed layup is good by Gavin Holge, his first basket. And Paris back up by 5, 38-33. Paris has virtually led the whole game. The Wildcats were able to tie the ball game at 16-16. Here's Cameron Kahn with a three. It's good by Cameron Kahn. He's got 12. And the Wildcats back to within 2, 38-36. Just over 6 to play here in the third quarter. Brock is guarding Trey Johnson. Johnson on the dribble outside the arc. Now drives into the lane. Kicks it over to Dennis. Bounces low to Holge. Holge drives in. A reverse layup is good. That's a tough play to make, and good. Holge made it look easy. 4-point Paris lead, 40-36. 5:49 left in the third quarter. Brock out to Day-Day Hall. Hall back to Brock. He'll shoot the three. That's off, no good. Good, strong rebound by Dennis. And he gets it over to Mitchell. Mitchell, top of the key. Dennis in transition, the three. He nailed it. Wow, Paris is hot tonight. Timeout taken, Clark Cipoletta. And Paris has jumped back out to a 7-point lead at 43-36. 5:29 left in the third quarter. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment. And the Wildcats have, both teams have broken out of the huddle now. 5:29 left in the third quarter, and Paris leads 43-36. Wildcats will have the ball underneath their own basket. And Cameron Kahn throws in to LaModrick Johnson, and here come the Wildcats across the midline, trailing by 7. Day-Day Hall, top of the key. Right side, Boo Wilkerson, almost stolen, but Day-Day got it back, drives in, bounces low to Cameron Kahn, slashes in, hit the bucket, and they called him for a charge. Cameron didn't like the call. I think he was victimized on the one where he got called for a block, but I wouldn't quarrel too much with that charge. Coach Cipoletta argued the call, but that is the second foul on Cameron Kahn. I don't know why I'm sitting there explaining it. My opinion means nothing. Guys in the striped shirts down there that get paid to call the game will decide all that stuff. 5:14 left in the third quarter. Paris with a 43-36 lead. And the ball in the hands of Trey Johnson, 6'2" senior. Johnson down low to Dennis, who's looking inside. And Lee down low. Holge shot blocked. Got the rebound, and he got, I think, Brock up in the air. And that'll be, I think I show that'll be, no, they went with Boo Wilkerson. I thought he had gotten Brock up in the air. But Wilkerson on the foul, I show that to be his first. And now Johnson to throw in for Paris. The 7-point lead, 4:56 left, third quarter. And the ball's passed out to Mitchell. Mitchell starts to penetrate, now backs off. Grayson McClure guarding him. Mitchell Got it over to Dennis. He's left open for a three. In and out, no good. Good rebound, Lamadrick Johnson. Nice rebounding guard. Down to Boo Wilkerson. He slashes in. The ball was lost, but he tried to send it toward the basket, and he drew a foul on Dennis. That'll be his second. And Boo Wilkerson will have 2 shots. Boo has not gotten a point in the scorebook yet. His free throw, now he has. Of course, Boo's one of those players that has other things that he does, and one thing he's molded himself this year into kind of the defensive stopper. Well, I don't know which one of these hot pair of shooters you put him on tonight. Here's a second free throw. Wilkerson hit both of them. Wildcats trim the lead to 5 at 43-38. 4:34 left in the third quarter. Ball in the hands of Johnson. Goes around the screen, drives into the lane, puts up the left-handed shot, no good. Rebound, Day Hall, long pass, Cameron Kahn. Kahn will stuff the ball for the Wildcats on the break. And Kahn has 14 points. The Wildcats down by 3, 43-40. Here's a stuff by Paris, a good feed going from Mitchell over to Jalen Lee with a 2-point basket. And it's 45-40 with 4 minutes left here in the third quarter. Lamadrick Johnson outside the arc over to Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson over to Cameron Kahn. He'll shoot the three. That's off, no good. Fight for the rebound. Look at Boo Wilkerson fight those taller players, but Paris finally got it. And here's Trey Johnson. His shot partially blocked. Follow shot off, no good. And Day with the rebound, and he's running down to Boo Wilkerson. Boo slashes in, shot blocked. Follow shot no good, but that's going to be a foul, and another one, I believe, on Dennis. Yes, that's a lot of fingers, a 2 and a 3. That is the third foul on Dennis, and he knew right away. He headed quickly to the bench. And we're going to get Braylon Mickens coming in for Paris. Here's Wilkerson's first free throw is good. Boo has hit 3 for 3. And now we do get Mickens along with Gray, and also checking out will be Trey Johnson. And Cameron Kahn will get a rest. I think Justin Hare is back in there for the Wildcats. Here's Wilkerson's free throw. He's 4 for 4. Has 4 in the game, and it's a 3-point ball game. Paris leading 45-42. 3:26 left here in the third quarter. Ball outside in the hands of Mitchell, being guarded by Grayson McClure. Free throw line to Mickens. Down low, Holge, his shot up and off, no good. Fight for the rebound. Holge got it in to Gray, who started in and then tripped on the floor. And a traveling violation on Gray, who his feet just betrayed him there, a wet spot or something. And he hit the deck down there. And now here comes Boo Wilkerson. The Wildcats down by 3, 45-42. Just over 3 to play, third quarter. Ball over to Grayson McClure. Back to Day Hall and back to McClure. He's closely guarded. McClure back out to Day Hall. Slashes into the lane. Over to Hare and down to Lamadrick Johnson. He slashes in, puts up the shot. Day tried the tip. It went way out almost to midcourt, and Grayson McClure chased it down. Back to Day Hall. Hall slashing into the lane. Oh, the ball spins away. Day lost it out of bounds, and it'll go back to Paris. Wildcats just cannot get the knock in the scoreboard. They're still down by 3, 45-42, with 2:34 left in the third quarter, and Paris has led throughout this ball game for the vast majority of this game. Mitchell with the ball outside. Over to Holge. He looks inside, over into the corner, a long three on the way. Good again, as that was Jalen Lee, his second 3 of the ball game. He's got 12 points, and Paris is now back up to 6. Ooh, almost a backcourt violation. 48-42, just over 2 to play here in the third quarter. Lamadrick Johnson, he passes over Grayson McClure, down low toward Justin Hare. It was knocked out of bounds by Holge. Go back to the Wildcats as Cameron Kahn quickly checks in, and he's going to give Day Hall a rest. Day expends so much energy, you've got to let him get some blows. The Modric Johnson to trigger in for the Wildcats. Gets it in, Cameron Kahn. Kahn slashes into the lane, his shot short. Follow shot is off, no good, but he drew a foul on one of the shorter players for Paris, and that's going to be on Bubba Gray, like a 10. That's his second foul that I show. Cameron Kahn to shoot a pair. Kahn is 1 for 1 as he completed that three-point play back in the first quarter, and that was his only free throw of this game. He'll have 2 right here. Takes the time, eyeing that bucket. Free throw, Cameron Kahn is off, no good. He'll get another. Wildcats trying to cut into a 6-point lead, and they have just had a hard time getting a handle on this ball game. Because a lot of that has to do with the guys in the dark blue tonight. Paris. Kahn's free throw on the way. Oh, he missed them both. And the Wildcats got the rebound. Boo Wilkerson, he put up a shot and drew another foul. A good rebounding by the 6'1" Boo Wilkerson. Now Boo, he's been 4 for 4 in this quarter. He has 4 points. I have a couple here. This one on the way, off the front iron. Boy, the Wildcats with some suspect foul shooting here at a bad time. They've missed their last 3. Day Hall checks back in for Justin Hare. Another one coming for Boo Wilkerson. He can trim the lead to 5. Now Day Hall's they're going to try to get some moisture. They've discovered some moisture on the floor. And so they go and get that broom, or that flat broom. I don't know what you call that thing. I'm sure there's a name for it. And now that we've taken care of that moisture, and Boo Wilkerson will have another free throw coming. 1:52 left here in the third quarter. And Paris is up by 6 right now, 48-42. Now the official gives the ball to Boo, and he's ready to shoot this foul shot. He got that one. Wildcats trail 48-43. 1:52 left here in the third quarter. Paris across the midline in the hands of Johnson. Gets it over to Gray and back out to Johnson. Over to Holge driving toward the basket. And we're going to have a foul called. And that may have been on Cameron Kahn. I don't know. I can't read those fingers. They're going to the other side. Paris to inbound the ball. They trigger in Holge, a long shot on the way off the iron, no good. The ball loose down on the floor, almost thrown up into the basket. And now a foul down on the floor, and it's on Day Hall, and boy, he is not happy about that foul. And of course the fans aren't either. So back to Paris. They lead by 5, 48-43. 1:33 left here in the third quarter. And timeout taken on the court for the Wildcats. And we'll take it with them, and we'll be back in a moment. Wildcats trailing Paris 48-43 as we're in the last few moments here of the third quarter. 1:33 still left to go here. Good officiating there. In fact, it's still going on as the official explaining to Day Hall why he called him for a foul. Day made his case, and the official continued to explain it. So a good job by officials by allowing the player to talk to him and then explaining why he called the ball. Here's a lob in for Paris, and the shot is put up and missed, and a good rebound, Cameron Kahn. 1:28 left in the third quarter. Wildcats down by 5. Kahn steaming in all the way to the bucket, and he laid it up and in and avoided contact. And here's Paris down quickly. Holge driving in, puts up the shot, missed it. Kahn with another rebound. Long pass to Boo Wilkerson. Boo ahead of the field. The layup is good by Boo Wilkerson. The Wildcats down by 1. 1:06 to play here in the... Oh, they threw it into the backcourt. and stolen by the Wildcats. Boo Wilkerson layup is good. Boo Wilkerson. And the Wildcats lead as Paris is kind of falling apart here in the last minute or so of the third quarter. As the Wildcats pressing, they almost got another turnover. Now Paris drives in, and they threw the ball away. Paris trying to assist each other, but that pass got away. And they have really had trouble with this Wildcat press. As once Paris has come across the midline, the Wildcats have double teamed the player, and Paris has had a hard time with that press. And the Wildcats have scored at least the last 6 points to move back into the lead at 49-48. 35 seconds left here at the end of the third quarter. Johnson over to Grayson McClure, a long three, off the iron, no good. Cameron Kahn came down with a rebound, follow shot, good! Cameron Kahn has been money in the bank in the third quarter. Wildcats by 3, 51-48. 19 seconds left, they double team the player, and we're going to get a foul down on the floor by Grayson McClure. And now the Wildcats are getting their fans into this ball game. And really the Wildcats have driven these fans from their seats with this good press and turnovers. Over to Holge, free throw line. Dennis drives in, shot is good. Oh, they called a block on Cameron Kahn. He cannot believe it. The basket counts by Dennis. And he's got 18 points. And Kahn has had all kinds of trouble getting the call tonight. He did get draw a charge on Paris. And I bet Kahn has 4 fouls. I don't think he fouled out. He's heading to the bench. But I think he's on the verge. I've got him with 4. Free throw coming for Dennis, who has a chance to tie this game for Paris with 8.1 seconds left here in the third quarter. It's 51-50 as the Wildcats have turned this game around with that trapping press. Once Paris brings the ball across the midline, they jump 2 players on the player with the ball, and that has produced some big-time results. Boo Wilkerson and Cameron Kahn leading the charge. And now Dennis again with a chance to tie everything here. He's had a really good game for Paris. His free throw on the way is good. He got it. Has 19 in the game, and we're tied 51-51 with 8.1 seconds left here in the third quarter. And Justin Hare gets it into LaModrick Johnson. That clock ticking down with less than 5. LaModrick going to have to hurry. Slashes inside. Over to Hare. It's too late, I think. Yes, the shot was too late, and I agree totally with that. They didn't have time to do all that they did. It was a nice play, LaModrick giving it away, but the clock, I could see the clock better than he could, and it was going to get him. He really had to make the shot, and he fed to Hare, who hit the layup, but it was released after the buzzer. So we're tied at 51 as we head into the fourth quarter, and let's take a break. Back in a moment. Well, the crowd's ready for this fourth quarter. We're tied at 51. Anybody's ball game here. Oh, just another typical Sulphur Springs and Paris basketball game here. Boo Wilkerson will throw in for the Wildcats as they'll have the ball to start the fourth quarter. Ball comes into the hands of LaModrick Johnson. LaModrick outside the arc. Tried to lob it inside, and now lobs it over to Boo Wilkerson, top of the key. Right side, oh, it's thrown right to Paris. Here's a steal by Trey Johnson. He drives in and hits the bucket. And Paris takes the lead at 53-51 with 7:38 left here in the fourth quarter. And now Day-Day Hall slashing in. Over to Wilkerson, the long three. That's off, no good. Rebound by Holge of Paris. And here comes Paris. Back to Holge. And in the hands of Johnson, Trey Johnson. And back outside to Mitchell. Mitchell guarded by Boo Wilkerson. Of course they put Boo on Mitchell. He had those 3 threes. Now the ball back to Mitchell. Puts the shot off the glass. Miss. No good. Good rebound by Justin Hare. Hare running with it out of there. Hare on the dribble. And funnels it over to Lamadrick Johnson. Almost stolen. Lamadrick over to Grayson McClure. Day Hall. Hall left and now slashes to the bucket. Slashing in. Laid it up and hit it. Good move. Day Hall has 13 points. And now Day down on the floor. And he's not feeling very well. There's a shot put up and missed. A rebound by Paris, and Grayson McClure reached in and tied him up. But not so, says the official. Day still down on the court after. And they're going to call a foul on Grayson McClure. They did not give him the tie up there. And the training staff now looking at Day Hall. And Justin Brock now checks in for the Wildcats. Got Day up on his feet. Oh, he's walking pretty well. So I'm not sure. But anyway, Day down on the floor, but he looked very, he was striding off the court. It's a good, strong walk. I didn't see any hitch in the get-along. 2 foul shots coming now for Dennis. Wildcats went for a tie-up and did not get the call. Dennis with 19 points. He is high point for the game. Cameron Kahn has 18 for the Wildcats. Dennis 1+1. That free throw off, no good. And Boo Wilkerson again fought a much taller player off to get that rebound. Over to Lamadrick Johnson. We're tied at 53. Justin Hare. Left side, Justin Brock. Brock over to Lamadrick Johnson. He's outside the arc. Over to Brock. Justin Brock, a 3. Good by Justin Brock. That is his second 3 in the ball game. 6 points. The Wildcats leading 56-53. Just over 6 to play here in the fourth quarter. Ball in the hands of Mitchell. Mitchell now being guarded by Grayson McClure. And Mitchell bounces to Dennis. Right corner it goes to Johnson. Over to Holge from the free throw line. Off the iron, no good. Fight for the rebound. And a foul on, that was on Jalen Lee. They gave the 0 signal. Of course, it couldn't have been Day. He just came in off the bench after, and he quickly recovered from whatever was bothering him. He's trying to stretch out. He may have had a little cramp there. Wildcats leading 56-53. 5:44 left here in the fourth quarter. Grayson McClure gives it over to Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson back to McClure. Shoots the 3. Good by Grayson McClure. He has 3 threes for 9 points. The Wildcats up 59-53 on a couple of threes. In the quarter, one by Justin Brock and one by Grayson McClure. They get the ball in and their shot put up and off, no good, but an offensive rebound by that Dennis. He's been very active, has 21 points. And it's a 4-point ball game, 59-55. Just over 5 to play, fourth quarter. Over to Day Hall. Hall starts a dribble. Still around the arc. Boo Wilkerson thought about the long ranger. Grayson McClure, the 3. That is off, no good. Fight for the rebound, and I think Day got a bump in on there, and that one will go against Day Hall. I just show 2 for him. He's telling Clark Cipolletta, I only got 2, Coach. Leave me out here. 59-55, 4-point Wildcat lead. 4:55 left here in the fourth quarter. Free throws coming now for Trey Johnson. He's got 6 points in the game, has a basket here in the fourth quarter for Paris. Eyes the bucket. Free throw on the way is off, no good. Good rebound again by the best 6'1" rebounder in the building tonight, Boo Wilkerson. Over to Lamadrick Johnson, to Day Hall, to Brock. Brock dribbling the top of the key. Brock to the free throw line, stops into the corner. Grayson McClure left open, and he missed this one. Fight for the rebound. It's still being fought for, and Grayson McClure saves it into Day-Day Hall. He slashes to the bucket, missed. Follow shot, no good. Tip, no good. And finally a Paris rebound. And Dennis, of course, Boo tried to sell it, the official not buying. And here comes Paris down the court. And timeout taken by Paris. I believe that's the case. Maybe both coaches tried to take timeout. Timeout is taken on the court. Grayson McClure was trying to sell something to the officials, and he got shooed away too. So timeout taken on the court. 4:19 left here in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats leading Paris 59-55. We'll take a break, back in a moment. And we're in the fourth quarter, and the Wildcats leading Paris 59-55 with 4:19 left here in the fourth quarter. We were tied 51 all starting this quarter. So the Wildcats have scored 8 and Paris 4 so far. Paris has the ball, and throwing it in will be Trey Johnson. He gets it comes into Mitchell, over to Holge. And back across to Mitchell. He's going to, I thought about the long three. It's into the corner now. They lob it into Dennis. He sends it. Holge left open for a three. Oh, missed it. Rebound comes down to Cameron Kahn. Kahn gets it over to Day-Day Hall. He's across the midline. 3:55 left, fourth quarter. Wildcats by 4. Over to Grayson McClure, the three. That is off, no good. Rebound, Boo Wilkerson. Wow, and he picked up a foul. I think that foul was on Mitchell. See if we see it 2 fingers here. Yes, that's what we see. These are non-shooters. That's only the 6th foul on Paris. The Wildcats have given the bonus with 8. Ball comes into Day-Day Hall. Hall slashing to the bucket. The ball knocked loose, and they call Day-Day for traveling. Or the crowd is heaping abuse on the official as he comes by him. I'm not sure how much. There's so much noise. I doubt he hears too much of that. Probably better if he doesn't. Rabbit-eared officials sometimes not a good thing. And here's Paris back down. Holge left open for a three. Off, no good. Day-Day chases it down in the corner. Long pass, Boo Wilkerson. Boo driving in, lays it up, missed it. Follow shot, no good. And Paris with a rebound. And now Lamadrick Johnson trying to get it back. Foul in the backcourt. Boy, when I think about that, I remember Victor E. Walker against Prosper, losing the ball in the backcourt and trying to get it back, fouling out in that game against Prosper. That was his 5th foul, and boy, did that hurt the Wildcats later on in that game that had so many overtimes. But sometimes you just get caught up in the action and you want that ball back. Especially, looked like the Wildcats were going to get 2 and then got nothing. Free throws now for Jalen Lee. He's got 12 points. His free throw off the iron, no good. Good rebound, Cameron Kahn gets it to Day-Day Hall. Still a 4-point Wildcat lead, 3:18 left, fourth quarter. Grayson McClure gets it over to Cameron Kahn. He's almost at midcourt. Now Cameron starts a drive to Day-Day Hall. Hall looking around for a teammate. Gives it over Grayson McClure. Over to Cameron Kahn. He thought about the three. Now Cameron slashes in, spins, put up the shot, missed it, fight for the board, went off Paris clearly, and the officials right there to make the correct call. The Wildcats will have it underneath their bucket. Neither team has scored lately. It's been a 4-point 59-55 for a while. After Grayson McClure, long three. It's good! Nothing but net for Grayson McClure. He's got 12 points. The Wildcats with a steal. It's McClure. Boo Wilkerson the three. That's off, no good. Lamadrick Johnson trying to get the rebound, went over the top of Jamon Mitchell. I show that to be the 3rd foul on Lamadrick. Again, a good rebounder, 6'2", but he was being blocked out that time. Good solid block out and tried to get over the top for the rebound. Free throws coming for Jamon Mitchell. Wildcats by 7. with 2:41 left in the fourth quarter. And free throws for Mitchell. Has not had a free throw tonight. He's had 3 threes for his 11 points through as we're playing here in the fourth quarter. Well, the Wildcats a big fourth quarter here. They've outscored Paris 11-4 to get that 7-point lead. Well, Mitchell with free throws. Be 2 shots. That was the 10th foul on the Wildcats. Double bonus. Free throw in and out. No good. Where the players started to react. And then, no, players. We told you 2 shots. Another free throw coming, Mitchell. Trying to trim that 7-point lead. This free throw is good. 62-56, 6-point lead here in the fourth quarter. Timeout taken. Billy Max Sneed. I didn't say Sneed. I should have said Steed. Excuse me, Billy Max Steed. I do know who he is. 2:41 left here in the fourth quarter, and the Wildcats leading Paris 62-56. Let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment. So 2:41 still left here in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats leading Paris 62-56. Boy, the Wildcats have had 3 threes here in this fourth quarter. 2 by Grayson McClure and 1 by Justin Brock. And Paris, lighting them up with the threes, has not had a long ranger here in the fourth quarter. They've had a couple of baskets and a free throw for 5 points. Ball comes into Day-Day Hall. Wildcats up by 6, 62-56. Day-Day Hall across the midline, closely guarded. Day-Day slashes to the bucket. Grayson McClure in the corner. Pitches back out to Cameron Kahn and then out to Lamadrick Johnson. Paris really gambling, trying to get a steal now. Lamadrick on the drive. Stops, gets it back to Day-Day Hall. He's out about 8 feet from midcourt. Day-Day on the drive. Gives it over Boo Wilkerson, back to Hall. Slashes in, put up the shot, missed the shot. He's got great moves around the basket, but that one didn't fall. But he picked up a Paris foul, and Day-Day will shoot 2 as Paris is now in the bonus, but this doesn't matter. He was foul shooting. Day-Day with 13 points, trying to add to that total. Hall eyes the bucket. Free throw good. I mentioned Day-Day heading to IUPUI. Cameron Kahn headed to Dallas Baptist. Day-Day with another free throw. This one on the way. Good. Got them both. 15 points for Day-Day Hall. The Wildcats by 8, 64-56. 2 minutes left here in the ball game. Ball comes over to Mitchell. Mitchell to Holge. Over in the corner it goes to that's Lee. Back to Holge. Holge closely guarded Lamadrick Johnson. Holge spinning around, heading toward the bucket, lays it up and hit it. And good play by Holge, just kind of an individual effort. He's got 6 points, and that trims the lead to 6. 1:36 left in the fourth quarter. Lamadrick Johnson across the midline. Lamadrick on the dribble, gives to Boo Wilkerson. Boo dribbling around, over to Grayson McClure. McClure hands off Cameron Kahn. Out to Day-Day Hall. The Wildcats look like they've worked on this delay game here. 1:18 left in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats up by 6. Hall into the corner. Lamadrick Johnson slashing in. Corner, Boo Wilkerson. Cameron Kahn, the 3. Off, no good. Oh, Day-Day missed the rebound. He went high but didn't get it. And here comes Paris to try to trim the lead. Over to Dennis for a long 3. Good by Paris. Trayvon Dennis trims the lead to 3 points at 64-61 with 58 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. We'll take the break with them here, and we'll be back in a moment. Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 64, the Wildcats of Paris 61, as we have 58 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Paris just hit a 3 to narrow the lead down to 3 points at 64-61. Kind of have divided feelings on trying to kind of burn that clock up, because it kind of takes away your offensive aggression. I hope it doesn't go all the way. Now here's a Inbound pass, they finally got it into LaModrick Johnson. Now Paris will chase back to the other end. Well, they're still going to watch LaModrick. He heads over the midline. 49 seconds left in the ball game. The Wildcats by 3 points. LaModrick still dribbling outside, closely guarded by Jalen Lee. Lee, long arms. LaModrick Johnson passes to Cameron Kahn. Try for the steal. They didn't get it. They throw to Day Hall. Hall double team down to Cameron Kahn. Slashes to the bucket. He hits the shot. Big time bucket by Cameron Kahn. And here comes Paris down by 5. 22 seconds left to go. And the ball over to Johnson. A long three. Off, no good. Oh no, a foul. 3 shots coming. Boo Wilkerson, I don't think, thought he fouled the player, but the player fell down for sure, for one reason or the other. And it will be 3 foul shots coming here for Trey Johnson. He can trim the lead down to 2 points if he can hit all these. He has not had a foul shot yet in this ball game. Point guard for Paris. This free throw is off, no good. They'll have a couple more. He can still trim the lead to 3. 15.3 seconds, all that's left here in the fourth quarter. Johnson eyes the bucket. The free throw off the iron. Oh, no. One more free throw to go. And one more coming for Trey Johnson. Now he can trim the lead to 4, but my goodness, you're going to need some help. That's 2 possessions. Johnson eyes the bucket. The free throw is off. No good. Fight for the rebound, and last touch by Paris. 14.1 seconds left, and timeout taken. This time I'll say his name right. Billy McSteed takes timeout for Paris. Wildcats leading 66-61. We'll take the break with them. Back in a moment. 14.1 seconds, all that's left in the game. The Wildcats leading Paris 66-61 in this barn burner. LaModrick Johnson to trigger in, got it into Day Hall. Ooh, almost threw it out of bounds. Day closely guarded, and now he's finally fouled. That was on Trey Johnson. I only showed him with about 2. Be 1+1 here. That's the 7th foul on Paris. Thought they already had 7, but oh yeah, they're okay. They caught up. That's 8. 7 or 8 does not matter. 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other, because it's still 1+1 till you get to 10. Day Hall with 15 points, shooting 2. Some of the fans beginning to kind of head toward the exits. Free throw good by Day Hall. Got 16 points, another coming. Grayson McClure checks out, and Justin Brock checks in. .1, all that's left in the ball game here, and the Wildcats lead by 6 points. This could really kind of put the cherry on top. And this free throw, no good. Rebound comes down to Paris. 7 seconds left. They try the long 3, missed. Day Hall with the rebound. That's going to do it, as the Wildcats will defeat Paris here tonight by the score of 67-61. And at the end of a tough ball game, Day Hall patted one of the Paris players on the back, that Dennis, who was an offensive force tonight. So it's good to see good sportsmanship like that. Of course, now they're going through the handshake line, which is more of that good sportsmanship after a very tough, hard-fought basketball game tonight. As the Wildcats win by the score of 67-61. In the fourth period, Paris had 10 points, the Wildcats had 16, and that was the difference. They were 51-51 heading into the fourth quarter. Paris by quarters, 16 in the first quarter, then 18, then 17, and then 10, for a total of 61. The Wildcats 12, 19, 20, and 16. So first quarter, Paris by 4. Halftime, Paris by 3. Third quarter tied, and then in the fourth quarter, the Wildcats edged them out with some really good free 3-point shooting. Grayson McClure had a pair, and Justin Brock hit one for the Wildcats. Trayvon Dennis responded. He may be the high point man. I believe he will be. Trayvon Dennis will end up being the high point man. But we'll do all that add up for you as everybody tries to decompose a little bit after this one. Boy, this was a fiercely fought ball game. It looked like it was just gonna go either way. It was anybody's game in that fourth quarter, and the Wildcats just kind of made an extra three and extra free throw here and there and came out with a 6-point win. Let's send it back to the station, and we will add up all the scoring, tell you who scored what in this one, as the Wildcats win this wild non-district game. Used to be district foes way back. I don't think they have been since 07 maybe. Probably 07, 08. They were in the same district, but since then, Paris has been a 4A school. The Wildcats have managed to hang around in 5A. We'll see about next time. I think they've got enough students that they believe they'll still be there. Anyway, Wildcats beat Paris 67-61. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with all the scoring right after this break. And let's give you the scoring in this one. I've been anticipating this game, and it was worth the wait. It was a thriller here. I did not expect Paris to control so much of the game, as they had that lead for just the longest time. The Wildcats finally were able to tie it up at the end of the third quarter, and then had a bigger fourth quarter to take home the win at 67-61. Leading scorer in the ball game belongs to Paris Wildcat, and that is Trayvon Dennis. 6'4" senior, ended up with 24 points. He had 4 three-pointers and had one in each quarter. He had 6 points, 5 points, 8 points, and 5 points for a total of 24. 12 points for Jalen Lee, the sophomore, in the starting lineup. 12 points for Jamon Mitchell, or Jamion. Not sure. I should have checked that name. I thought these were easy. I checked on Holgi. I got that one, but I should have checked on the first name for Mitchell. But he had 12 points. 6 points for Trey Johnson. 6 points for Gavin Holgi, and 1 point for Bubba Gray, for a total of 61 for Paris. For the Wildcats, they had 3 players in double figures. They were led by Cameron Kahn, who was just outrageously good, especially in that third quarter, where he doubled his point total from 9 to 18. Ended up with 20 in the game for the Wildcats. Day Hall had a good solid game with points in every quarter for 16 points. And 12 points for Grayson McClure, the way Grayson McClure gets them, 4 threes. And so a big ball game for Grayson McClure, 2 in that fourth quarter when the Wildcats really, really needed them. Very impressed with Boo Wilkerson, especially his rebounding, and he did all of his scoring in that third quarter, had 9 points. But he did some ferocious rebounding, again, for a guy that's 6'1", battling in the land of the trees. 9 points for Boo Wilkerson. And after that, it is 6 for Justin Brock, and again, a couple of threes for Justin, very big, 1 in that fourth quarter. And then 4 points for Lamadrick Johnson, and again, a good floor game for Lamadrick. And the Wildcats win this one 67-61. First loss of the season for Paris. I don't think they'll be penalized too harshly in the rankings. Are number 17, and the Wildcats losing to that really stud Louisiana team. They cost them 1 spot in the rankings. And Wildcats record goes to 4-1, so both of these teams now 4-1. Next to the Wildcats, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the Spring Creek tournament. That'll be at Mansfield, and we will find out from Coach Cipolletta who all will try to get a copy of the bracket and everything, and find out who they will face starting on Thursday. That is a real good tournament. They played a lot of ranked 6A teams in that tournament last year. So that's going to wrap it all up. Let's give James Terry credit for handling all the business back at the station and doing everything we need that needs to be done in master control. Doug Haston, boy, talk about a big hat rack he has in his area. He did all the engineering, put everything together, and it all worked. That always amazes me when that happens. But not, it would be, if I did it, then there'd be highly suspect. But Doug also shooting the video, and just an all-around good job for Doug Haston tonight. And I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play. Once again, our final score here from the main gym on the campus of Sulphur Springs High School. The Sulphur Springs Wildcats 67 and the Paris Wildcats 61. We thank you so much for taking in our broadcast this evening, and so long, everybody.
Thank you, Don. You've been listening to Wildcats basketball on KSST 1230 AM Sulphur Springs, Texas. We'll go back to Good Time Oldies after this message from UIL.
Coach, a real subtle change there in the third quarter with your defense, where you begin to jump on the player coming across midcourt and really energized your team with some big steals and points.
Yeah, we just tried to change the flow of the game a little bit. Hats off to Paris. They shot the ball extremely well. And, we just weren't making them uncomfortable. I just felt like they were in a groove. So we tried to change it up and add some pressure, and I think that kind of changed the dynamic of the game. We kind of got some energy out of it, got some easy steals, and I think that really helped boost our players, from there on out.
Then you're anybody's game in the fourth quarter, and you hit some. Brock had a huge three. Grayson hit a couple and get some free throws, and you outscore them to win the game.
Yeah, I was super proud of everybody. They all stepped up. Brock came up huge, hit some really big shots. Grayson hit some really big shots. I thought LJ in the first half, he was just kind of rattled. When you're the point guard, you have the ball in your hands a lot, and you're going to make mistakes. But I thought in the second half, he really took what the defense gave him and then picked his spots and found open teammates, and I thought that really changed as well. And then you got Sadadrian just kind of took over. They just had a hard time staying in front of him, and I was really proud of Cam. Cam didn't have a good game last week, and, man, in the first half, he really carried us with rebounding big, and I think he had some unfortunate fouls called against him, but that's part of the game. And once again, I was just really proud of the group, and how we stuck together. And that's what I told him in the locker room. Like, we were able to stick together through adverse times, and when you're able to stick together, you're going to be able to overcome some stuff. And that's what happened tonight.
Yeah, Boo had a big third quarter, as did Cameron. He was your high point man tonight with 20. And then, yes, and Day Hall had 16. Awesome. Fueled a lot by some free throws there at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I didn't realize Cam had 20. That's awesome. That's big for his confidence and big for us, because you know what he's capable of. And I think he only played probably half of the game because he was in foul trouble in the first half and second half. I don't know if I played him in the third quarter very much, so that'd be interesting to see his minutes played versus points total. So once again, just guys stepped up, made plays when it counted, and that's how we got the win.
I know you never panic, but it just for such a long period of time, Paris held on to the lead, until about halfway through that third quarter, when we finally, as we mentioned, that change in defense really kind of shifted the tide. Yeah,
it's kind of when you're in the sea, you're going through a storm, man, you just got to weather it. Yeah, and eventually you're going to get to some calm water, and we just knew we just got to keep fighting, keep plugging away, keep doing what we do. And, they're going to make shots, but eventually they got to miss. And when they miss, let's take opportunity and make them pay. And we just weathered the storm there.
I thought so much about what you said about it doesn't matter when we're down or they're up and we're down or whatever, it's going to be a good game. And, boy, was this a thriller tonight.
Yeah, they're so tough. Coach Steve does an incredible job. He's one of the best high school coaches around, and their kids play hard. They're very athletic, super athletic, one of the most athletic Paris teams I've seen in a long time. And those guys shot it super well as well. So, it's never going to be an easy game. I told them this used to be an old school rivalry. Back in the day, I think they were in the same district, and had to give our kids a little history lesson on that. And I was just, we were able to overcome it.
All right. Now, next for you is a Mansfield tournament that you were in last year that we really faced a bunch of, seemed like ranked 6A teams and just kind of some of the best around.
I love it. That's really where we really figured out what type of team we are last year. We come out last year and play ranked 6A and beat them right off the bat, and then we go score 20 points the next game and lose to Mansfield Summit. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in a tournament. You really get to figure that stuff out, maybe play a little bit more people because it's such, 3 games and four games in 3 days or whatever it could be. So, it's a fun time, and we'll get to spend a night out there. They'll pay for our hotels, so it'll be a cool bonding experience. And, that's when Dylan really stepped up last year and let the team have it. So hopefully we won't have to have one of those come to Jesus meetings, but hopefully we can prosper and figure some stuff out and see what type of team we could be.
Well, best of luck, Coach.
Thank you so much.